Welcome back, guys. This is Battle Mix for CG Tots, CG Tots Plus, and today we're gonna finish this effect, this very awesome effect in Houdini. Uh, if you saw part one, as I hope you did, we're left with this geometry that is emitting particles here. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on the particles, how to make this effect look good, emit enough particles from the geometry that we have, so it doesn't look like there's empty spaces right here, or in other places there's too much particles like here. We need to have a full thing right here. And another problem we have here that we're gonna fix here is let me just do this. Just give me a second. There we go. Oh, another thing we're gonna fix here is the how the geometry is going from one frame to another. If you see carefully, there's a big jump between frames. If we go to something that doesn't have particles, like here, you can see, if we go closer, that between one frame and the other there's a huge jump. And when we emit more particles, as we should, like let's just say emit, like, just use this for demonstration. This will emit particles at each frame more to illustrate my point. So you can see I have a huge bunch of particles here, and then it jumps here, and we have like this gap. If we go to the next frame, we have another particles here, and there it doesn't look like something solid. It looks like a ring here, another ring here, and this doesn't look actually very good. And this is because the geometry is going too far from one frame to the next one, so it leaves those gaps. So what we're gonna do is oversample the geometry, so we have at least four times the geometry that we have. So instead of going from frame 20 to 21, we're gonna go to 20, 20.25, 20.5, 20.75, and then 21. So we're gonna have four pieces for each frame. So that's gonna help us to get a better stream of particles. If Another thing we need here is actually velocity from the source, because the particles are not being dragged from the source because they doesn't have any velocity. The source geometry doesn't have any velocity right now, and we may use that or not, but we're gonna add it to that because that is how you should work. Should have your options here. So if we go to the geometry that we're using for emitting, and you go to the show the points and then show the normals, you can see we have some very weird, strange normals, but we don't have any velocity here. If we go here, oh, they actually do have velocity. I'm sorry. I'm actually computing the velocity from the normals, but they are all going in the direction of the normal, not going in the direction of the geometry. They are going in just away from the geometry, and that's not the correct velocity. So to correct that, we're gonna add a trails up right here. Just rewind that, and in the trails tab we have an option to compute the velocity, which is right here. And if we go now to the popnet and run that, you can see that now the velocity is going in the direction of the geometry. And if you can, well, let me just hide the velocity for now. And the particles are going crazy because they are using that velocity to move. But you can see that this is something to be desired. So the velocity is going in the right direction now, but there's too much of it. And why there's too much of it? Because in the source, in the attributes tab, there's an inherit velocity attribute there. If we don't use that velocity attribute, we're just gonna have particles there, not going anywhere. So I'm just check out where am I looking now. There we go. I was too far away because the velocity is very far. Let's just scale the velocity a little bit because right now it's huge. Let's just put this to like 0.5, see if that, or 0.1. Yeah, that makes it more manageable. So in the world particles now, we are not using that velocity, and there's just emitting particles at each frame. And as you can see, it's not as solid as we need. So to do that emission, we're not gonna use the impulse activation. We're gonna use the constant activation, and that gives us worse kind of emission right now. So, but we're gonna fix that. So we're gonna use an expression to calculate how many points we're getting, and use that as the emitting rate. So the expression goes something like this. Let's just click on the constant bit rate attribute, and hit Alt E to show the bigger expression editor here. First, we're gonna calculate the number of points, and you can see that this is gonna give us the number of points of any sub. So what's the surface you want here? Just takes one attribute, and in our case, we're gonna say that we want the number of points that are coming into this sub, into this pop right here, that this is the number of points we want to calculate, this input right here. So to get whatever input, whatever is plugged to the first input, we're gonna use the up input pad expression here. So type up input pad, and the up input pad takes a name, the name of the sub, and a float, for the index of the number of the connection. So we're gonna use dot dot to refer to that one above us, and choose 0 because the index goes from 0 to 4 to 3, and just close the parentheses there, and just hit apply and accept. And right now at that frame, looks like we have no geometry, and as soon as we enter the geometry, we have points, and we have that much points there, and we are emitting that much particles there. So that is normalizing the stream of particles. You can see if I go back, it's getting smaller and smaller because we have less geometry at that frame. So right now it looks a bit more constant, the stream, Uh, so what we can do to have just more with this points, just multiply this expression at the end. You can consider this the rate. Let's just start with 50 so we don't have that much particles for now. We're gonna have more during the, and as you can see, we have a bunch of particles, and you can see there's uh, a lot more defined than before, and we can actually see the parts that we're emitting from, and that's very cool because we are covering those parts very well, and that's what we want. But this is the other problem I was talking about, that you have these slices of particles that are gonna look weird when you render this, because it looks like it's going to pieces, not to dust. So that's why we are going to oversample this. If we just add a little variance here, choose the velocity. Let's see how that looks. We don't want to see the velocity vector. There goes. That's an effect we can use maybe. Yeah, but you can see at the beginning we can see the slices of the particles. As I said, there you can see the slices, right? When they start moving, they start hiding that, but at the beginning we can see those slices there. So let me just not use as much as the initial velocity and add some, and there's some variance already there. Let's see how that looks. There we go. We're launching the particles with the velocity there, and it looks good. It looks good. Yeah, we're starting to get somewhere. And let me just how many I made in 50. Let me just emit less for now, and we can always emit more particles later. There we go. So that's the velocity. Now we can obviously this particles doesn't have any gravity right now. They're just flying, and they are living forever, and they're going too far. So we're gonna address all those things. First, let's add some gravity. And also, do you notice that the velocity is pushing them forward, and we actually want them to go backwards? So we're gonna use some of the velocity of the geometry, but we're gonna push them back with the wind, with some fields like the wind. So let's not use as much of the initial velocity, just some of the velocity, and not as much of the variance there. There we go. Just kinda. So now just add from the shelf. Where's my shelf? On the shelf right here, to the go to the drive particles tab, and just add gravity. Where is it? Right here. This apple right here. So right now, if you play it, they have gravity now. They are falling. And they look very nice right now. So the other thing we're gonna have to add to this is drag, because these particles are never losing velocity. They are just going forever. Let's just go to the first one, and you can see that they are not losing speed. They are just going. So the drag is gonna help us stop the particles and give them the more realistic look, so they don't go forever. So let's just add the drag right here. Let's add a drag. Maybe add the drag at the bottom. Doesn't matter that much, but so let me just deactivate the gravity. As you can see, the particles now shoot out and then start stopping, so they look more like they should look, that they should start losing velocity as they go. If we don't want them to lose as much, we can uh, lower the drag force, but right now I think it looks good as it is. Now we already have the expression there, and we already have a drag, and we're gonna be adding a wind, and that's gonna be most of the part of the most important thing in this effect. The wind is gonna drive the motion of this thing. Now if we activate the gravity again, you can see that we have that the particles going down. And the other thing is that we haven't played with the life I'm sorry, the lifetime of the particles. Uh, right now the life expectancy is 100 seconds, so they won't die at this. So let's put like 0.3, 0.3, and they start dying very early. Right here there might not be half a second, and 0.3 of a second as a variance. And let's see how that goes. Yeah, too early. Let me just go to 1 second. And remember, our scene is gonna be like 60 frames long, so we should stick to that. Let me just go to 60, and particles should have died by 60, and they are not dying. Let me just change this to play once, so we can see how the particles we still have particles at the end, so we can't go as much as one here, which is there we go. We have no particles at 60. They are dying in our scene, so that's good for life expectancy. So now let's start playing with the wind. So let's just you can add it here, or just click here for the wind. Now the wind, it's force in one direction, or just a vector direction. It's gonna push the particles. So right now the wind is going nowhere because we have no direction. So if we push them up, I put one there, you can see we're kind of pushing it up. If I just crank this up like a lot, you can see they are going up. Just they are going up a little bit. Just crank it a lot. There we go. They are going really up. So that's exactly what the wind does, and it also has some parameters for the noise of the wind, which we are going to use. Let me just add some frequency and some amplitude, so you can see what I mean. You can see the particles kinda move. Just crank the amplitude a lot because we have a huge sheen. Then we go. There's not. They're moving. The wind, it's moving the particles there. There we go. Let me just put the life expectancy a bit higher. Let's just remember what we have. 0.7, and we can add a note here. These notes are very useful. Just put it here and say life expectancy. Just put life 0.7 and 0.3 as the variance, so we can remember what this was we're gonna just put whatever to see the effect of the wind right now. And there we go, the wind is blowing the particles and is moving them. That's where they are stretching like that. So the frequency, it is the frequency for the noise. If you add more frequency, they're gonna move more like this, and the amplitude is the amplitude of the wave like this. So kind of like this. Let me just draw here. If I draw a wave here, this will be the frequency, and from here, actually let me just grab that color. From here to here, the height of the wave will be this will be the amplitude. So if I add amplitude, I will make the wave like this. If I add frequency, we'll make them smaller like that. So that's what that parameters do. And we also have turbulence, which it also helps a lot with to the effect. As you can see, you can just experiment right here, and this is very fun. So right now we are not working in the right camera, so we need to do that. We need to work in the right camera. Right now the effect is going up, but what we need is to push it up, push it to the right of the frame and to back on the scene. So let's put the wind, yeah, some kind of up and something in X. Let's just, you can see the widget there that is pointing to the wind where it is going. We can turn it over there. We can also grab it and put it wherever we want to point to. I want to go not to up, not something like that, to push the particles over there. So yeah, the particles are going somewhere, but they are not going the way I want them to. So let's just reset this, guys. They are going up, and let me just push them in X, and there we go. Are they going towards the camera or what? There, they're going back as I want them. Just show the all the geometry, and I can see that they are not going as good as I want them. There we go. That might be better. And the particles are going this way, and let me see if they are going the right direction in the frame. Here, hide others. Yeah, they're going the right direction, but they are going too fast. So we can control it here or control the scale. Let me just put the scale a little bit down because we have the direction okay. They are going to the right place. Maybe put them a little bit down, not too much up. and maybe a little bit over here. Just tweak until you're happy or your director is happy. There we go. That's I'm gonna put them a little bit up because they're gonna disappear. There we go. We need to use this space because this space because the layout is kind of the characters right here, so we need to use this area right here. So there we go. That's change the life parameters like they were before, and just check it out. And there we go. The particles are dying like they should die. So now let's keep tweaking the attributes here because I'm not liking this noise yet. Let me just crank the amplitude a lot. See if that makes it a little bit better. And that does make it a little bit better, but I think I'm gonna need to add more turbulence to that. And I might change the type of noise to see how that works. And I like that better. It's breaking the particles much better. You can see they are breaking here into chunks. Let me just try another one, see how that looks. And that's also a nice one because it's breaking and the particles are having this different parts that they go behind, not all the same time. That's actually a very good one because some particles get faster and stuff, and that looks very nice. We have the form in the beginning, but then we start losing it. Let me just I think the wind it's good now. So what else do we wanna do to this effect now? We might wanna play a little bit more with the wind, but the thing that's left with here, we can try with more particles to see what the effect looks like. So, but because we're gonna need a bunch of particles to the final effect. And there we go. It looks nice. It's breaking like I said. These little chunks here that get out of the frame looks cool. Let's just try this with the other kind of noise to see how that looks. See which one do you look like the best. And this is also looking very nice because it makes these chunks here that I like. Maybe gonna leave this for the final effect. Yeah, that looks good. You can already kind of go. Damn it! I closed my tab. Network editor. There we go. You can go to the top section of your scene and kind of see what this looks like already in the context of the shot. There you go. You can make a flipbook. Let's just make a flipbook. And making a flipbook is very easy because you're not gonna see this in real time in your viewport because you are calculating a lot of particles and you may have a bunch more. And so just click here, just in this little flipbook, and open the settings, and it's gonna make a flipbook from start to end. This expression does that from this start end right here. Just leave it at that, and the size is gonna help you get the size that you want. Right now here is the size that is going to make it, and you can make it 75%, 50, etc. and it shows you how much RAM is gonna use right here. So let's just do it like that and accept. This is not gonna take a bunch of time. It's actually very fast, and you're gonna be doing this. It's already done, and now that when it caches the frames to RAM, now we can play and we are seeing it in real time. We can even make this a bit bigger and zoom in. And this is just for checking out in real time your effect. Right now you can see it's looking really nice. The first thing that I notice is the spaces between the chunks that I don't like. Right there is a big hole right there, and if we go frame by frame, there's another big hole that I don't like. I want to have all these filled up with particles. So that it's gonna help us do that. We already have particles there like this. We want to see everything like this, filled with particles, not this big empty hole. This might be another effect you may want to try, but for the effect we want the whole solid thing to be going into dust. You can see there it's looking very nice right now, and it's going the direction that we want. We may want to extend it a little bit more, maybe the wind make it a bit faster to reach over here, because it's all dying right here. We can extend it a bit more, and let's do that. Let's extend the wind a bit more. Just go to the wind, and let's just put the scale a little bit more there. We're looking to the right camera, yeah. And there's the wind is reaching about here. Just put a bit more, 0.3. As I said, I like 0.3. And there we go, we're reaching over here, maybe a bit more. We're reaching over here on top of the frame, and that's okay. And I like how this first part goes right when it's starting to go to emerge, and that's good. And we might also want to play with the variance. That will give us some more variance look at the dying of the particles, but it's not working for us. It's going too far. That's it. That's gonna be enough for the wind. It looks actually very nice. So now we're gonna stop here in part 2 of this. We're gonna do the rest of the particle effect, do the oversampling of the geometry, and fill up those gaps that I was talking about, rendering the particles, or adding a render sub, and caching, and talking about motion blur. So I'll see you in part 2.